Hi everyone, my name is Christine and I have been spending the last almost month reading the Declaration of Independence. Well, actually the Constitution, not the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. It is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And because of that, I am reading the Constitution. I'm trying to do it every day, but sometimes it takes me a couple days. But today, a couple of things have happened. Well, yesterday and today, a couple of things have happened, and it concerns a couple of the things that I have discussed before. And I figured that because these things do not happen very frequently, and actually one of them may not ever happen again, hopefully. It's really interesting to see that the Constitution is very important and it affects us even when we don't realize it. So remember when we were discussing the legislative branch? That was the first one we discussed, and we talked about senators. Well, unfortunately, Lindsey Graham has passed away, and he is a sitting senator. And because he is a sitting senator for the state of South Carolina, the governor of South Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster, was able to choose his successor. And he has chosen his sister, Darlene Graham, and she will take his seat right now, and she will stay in his seat until January when his term would have been up. Now, in the meantime, what had been going on is, because this is the season that we have primaries, is that Lindsey Graham had won his primary to be voted on in the fall, in November, for his seat again, because the 6 years were up. And so now what's going to have to happen is that South Carolina is going to hold a special primary election on August 11th. And there they will pick someone to run instead of Lindsey, because of course he has passed away. And his sister Darlene is going to be sworn in tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern time. And so I thought this was really, really interesting, because we were just talking, they throw it in there and you don't really think, oh, this can't happen. And it does not happen very frequently. But it's nice to know that our founders, they framed the Constitution in a way to provide for these things as they happen. And that's what's going to happen. And so that's that. That's the first thing. The second thing that has happened, which is a little more, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this part, but apparently Donald Trump has been charged with wire fraud, and it is a federal offense. And it is because they say that he diverted money from the 250th anniversary into what happened was 10 years ago. Congress set up money allocations for the 250th anniversary for there to be things going on, and then Donald Trump made his own one, and he took the money from the original one to use for his Freedom 250. And the way he did it, they are saying, is against the law, and so there's a lawsuit for that. Also, they're saying that he misled donors, because donors got confused as to where are they donating to. Some people thought it was still the original one and not the second one. And then on top of that, they collected all of the data from the people who donated, and they gave it to the Republican Party so that the Republican Party had information on all of these people so that they can ask them to donate to the Republican Party. And people should have a say in where their information goes to. And so they were upset about that. And the other thing that happened was they are saying that that pay to play at the UFC fight that they had in front of the Capitol in DC, there's some charges on that. Now, what happens with these charges? Will they get thrown out? Are they realistic? Whatever. It's just something that I've never heard of happening before, and I just figured that people should know that this has happened. The second thing that happened today was that President Trump and his family had sued the IRS, saying that they wrongfully allowed someone to have the tax documents go out into the public. And now the judge in Florida, the circuit judge in Florida, said no, that's all going to get cut off. And she has a scathing report about all of that, and basically said that when President Trump made the executive order to ensure the presidential supervision and control of the entire executive branch, that what he did was he caused himself and the DOJ to act as one unit, and that you can't do that because he was creating a lawsuit that he couldn't lose, and any lawsuit has to have a controversy, with one side being able to say this is my version, and the other saying this is my version. And he didn't do that because he made this executive order. So what's going to happen with that? It's like this lawsuit seems to be going through all of the different courts, and it's just kind of interesting that they keep throwing that all over the place. And I wonder what is going to happen in the future with this. But it just shows that one court says one thing, one court says another, and then it goes, so it hops through the different courts based on who said what and where the court is and where the lawsuit was filed. But the other thing is that court, this is in South Carolina, no, it's in Florida. In Florida, they said that Alejandro Brito, who is Trump's personal lawyer, he got sanctioned for 1 year. He's blocked from 1 year from being in her court. This judge, I forgot to write her name down. She was so upset over all of this, and so it's just another one of those things. And if you're interested in looking at more about that, I hope you find some more. I hope you find it. I know that I saw a couple things that Aaron Parnas has put out on both of those last two items, and he does give a little more information than I can give. He's a lawyer. I'm not. I can't, whatever. But I just figured that you could see that is all of your triangle there. The judicial court, the executive branch, and the legislative branch, all having their say in different ways, working the way the Constitution wanted it to work. And so that's what I wanted to put out for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.